Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Memento Mori and today I'll be retro reviewing one of my favourite guilty pleasures of all time, Streets of Fire.
You are about to enter a world unlike any you've ever seen before, where rock and roll is king. The only law is a loaded gun, where the beautiful,
Stay and see the show, it's really good.
the brutal,
I want Tom Cody.
and the brave all meet
From now on, it's for real.
in Streets of Fire.
Streets of Fire was directed by Walter Hill and released in 1984. The movie was originally supposed to kickstart a trilogy, but clearly that never really happened. That's probably because it wasn't really a financial success upon release. It's only in recent years it's really gone on to become the cult classic that it is known as today. The movie was originally made because of the success that he and producer Joel Silver had when releasing the movie 48 Hours, which starred Eddie Murphy. The movie stars the heroic, stoic yet vulnerable Michael Pare as the protagonist. It also stars Diane Lane and Rick Moranis, who was playing hilariously against type as like this slimy record executive. It also stars William Dafoe playing the exact sort of character you would expect William Dafoe to play. It's amazing. Hell, even the late great Bill Paxton turns up for a beat. Like, forget the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Let's just play the 6 Degrees of Bill Paxton in the 80s. That is totally a game I would get behind. The movie opens in MTV music video sensibilities, featuring this really kick-ass, up-tempo rock song that showcases Ellen Ames, who is going to be the female damsel in distress type character within the film. She's an on-the-rise rock star who's just come back to town in order to deliver a concert. The song she's performing is called Nowhere Fast, which pretty much sums up the entire film for me. The plot goes nowhere, but it goes there so fast you will have a goddamn ball regardless. Have I mentioned how much I love this fucking movie yet? So during her performance, she's straight up kidnapped by a bunch of leather-clad bikers led by William Dafoe's character, Revan. Why does he kidnap her? No goddamn idea. I've seen this movie like 9 or 10 times and I still can't remember. You don't have to remember either. Essentially, Ellen Ames just exists as like this damsel in distress MacGuffin. She's there so that our protagonist, Tom Cody, which is played by Michael Pare, can wage this man-on-a-mission style trek through the city to rescue the damsel in distress. Here's the thing, I've seen a lot of movies, and I've never really seen Michael Pare star in another film other than Streets of Fire. For me, he'll always be Tom Cody, which is kind of a cool thing. He's always going to be that man who's returned from some vague war in order to save the girl at the request of his sister. I mean, look at this. Isn't this not like the best fucking character introduction ever? He's wearing a sleeveless button-down top and goddamn suspenders. How did this look not catch on? I also like how in the beginning of the film, Tom doesn't even really want to save Ellen Ames because she's shacking up with her record producer new boyfriend, Billy Fish, which is played by Rick Moranis. A little bit of trivia. Pare apparently hated Moranis on the set because he was a little bit of a smartass, and Pare not quite as quick-witted as his co-star. Go figure. This tension is all 100% on the screen, and you can totally tell that these two guys did not get along, which absolutely works for the characters. Tom is also kind of a dick right throughout the film, and that totally works too. He's flawed, he's a little bit bitter, and he doesn't really see how any of this shit with his ex-girlfriend is his problem. Pare just gets this character too. He's either a terrible fucking actor, or he just gets the world that he's inhabiting. Every line they spout is like this one-liner, but it's like tough guy talk from the 1950s, and it's pretty glorious. Anyways, Tom meets his sidekick, McCoy, who is easily the best fucking character in the film. She's also a war vet who's run out of wars to wage. The character was like originally written for a male to star, but Amy Madigan, who originally tested for the character of Tom's sister, claimed that the film's best role was actually the protagonist's sidekick. And you know what? She's totally fucking right. The character was rewritten for Madigan, who owns the role hard. So Billy Fish hires Tom and McCoy to go rescue Ellen Ames from the biker bar that she's being held at. Tom takes up a position outside of the bar and then just straight up starts murdering people. It's best you don't think about it. They're fine. They're not burning to death or bleeding out of bullet wounds. They're fine. They just went home. They're fine. Tom then meets William Dafoe's character Raven in one of my favourite scenes in the entire movie. It's like a battle of the bad acting and it's fucking amazing.
Looks like I finally ran into someone that likes to play as rough as I do.
Yeah, this must be your lucky night.
I'm lucky. I guess maybe I am. But you're dumb. Real dumb if you think you can pull this off.
The leather, the fire, the haircuts. Are you kidding me? God, I love this movie. After bickering and fighting their entire way back to safety, Tom and Ellen make up in this glorious little gem of movie making. You know the most unrealistic thing in this movie that also includes this scene is the fact that Diane Lane would ever be shacking up with Rick Moranis in the first place. I don't know, maybe she makes him laugh. So, anyways, Tom is supposed to leave before the bikers arrive looking for retaliation and start causing chaos. But Tom is a man of conviction. He's a man of pride. He's not going to leave without squaring things away. But Ellen is not going to leave without Tom. So, how does Tom get Ellen to leave without him? He does this.
What are you talking about?
He knocks her out. He king hits his ex-girlfriend. It's so un-PC, it's insane that it even flew back in the 80s. While this movie does slow down a little bit in the middle, it totally ends with one of the greatest scenes in all of movie cinema. Some movies might be content to end with a fist fight. Cool. Some might go for a gunfight. Why not? Hell, some movies in the 80s even ended with a sword fight. But not Streets of Fire. Oh god, no. We go out swinging with fucking sledgehammers. Literally. After Billy Fish gets a well-deserved bludgeoning, because he's really fucking annoying in the movie, Tom and Revan have a goddamn sledgehammer fight in the middle of the screen, while everyone just stands around and watches. It's insane. How are they not exhausted like 3 swings in? They both look like they're stuck on a long-haul flight after contracting dysentery. I don't care. It's fucking awesome. Bottom line, I know I've dumped on this movie a little bit, but I truly do love it. I actually think the movie exists in that same heightened world as The Warriors and movies like Seven. At the beginning of the film, a title card states, "Another time, another place." This movie was deliberately styled as a neo-noir hodgepodge fusion of the 1950s and the 1980s. Think diners and jukeboxes and leathers and tan jackets. The film is basically a neon-lit, motorcycle hot rod, rain-soaked alleyways comic book movie noir. The film's origins came out of a desire for Hill to make a movie that he thought would be the perfect film for when he was a teenager. He wanted to put in all the things that he thought were great then, and which I still have great affection for. Custom cars, kissing in the rain, neon, trains in the night, high-speed pursuits, rumbles, rock stars, motorcycles, jokes in tough situations, leather jackets, and questions of honor. And this affection for this made-up time period totally shows in the movie. There was a lot of love and craft that went into the setting, into the characters, the mise-en-scene. The whole thing just comes together and kind of works. They don't create stylistic movies quite like this anymore. And it really is beautiful to look at. Before I wrap up, I need to make special mention of the soundtrack. When the movie begins, it describes itself as a rock and roll fable. I actually brought the soundtrack on vinyl and imported it from Japan after a lot of hunting around. Thank you, eBay. I remember back when movie soundtracks were iconic, with music that promoted the movie, and the film showcased the music. Streets of Fire has one of those super iconic, only in the 80s soundtracks, which features several memorable tunes you'll be humming well after the film has finished. It's so good. It's how you do good soundtracks. So in closing, Streets of Fire is one of my favourite movies. It's cheesy, it's hammy, it has a cracking pace. It's quite clearly all style over substance, but it never feels incomplete because of it. It's an underrated cult classic that deserves to be in your midnight movie rotation. It's not perfect, but it's the exact type of film it sets out to be. You should check it out with some friends. It's a really good time. I give this movie a rating of B. It's the shits. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Look forward to more reviews in the coming days, and as always, like and subscribe to stay updated. Later days.